A very good friend of mine sent me a mixing session because he was frustrated about it not doing anything good. And I'm going to point out 3 things that will make this mixing session a lot better. First issue is the BPM setting. It's set to 120 and the beat is in fact 80. The second issue is the routing. So everything is routed into one bus, which is the stereo output, and this causes a lot of mess oftentimes. And the final thing is the processing. There are some issues here as well. So let's just dive in. I just want to start off by saying that there are a lot of good thinking going on in this mix. Everything is neatly laid out. You see here, it starts with the main vocal, and then there's the backing tracks and some fill-ins, and finally the beat. Everything is chopped up neatly with fades and everything so that all the silent parts are taken away. The silent parts are solemnly silent. He's done a great job right here. And he has also done some volume automation, and that is, of course, something you can do before you start mixing, and you can also do it afterwards. And there are benefits to both. Good work, my man. So the first thing is the BPM, and if we just right-click and apply region tempo, boom, we have 80 BPM. Now what happens when we change the BPM in the same session is that it actually everything moves. All the other tracks gets off sync. The solution for this is, of course, not to chop up anything before the tempo is set, the BPM is set. But in this case, it's too late because everything is chopped up. Go to lock SMPTE position in the region menu and turn it on. Then you can freely adjust the BPM without anything moving out of place. Correct BPM is vital when moving regions around. Say you want to duplicate a phrase, copy, paste the hook, etc. Having the correct BPM dialed in is crucial. It's also a lot easier to use time-based effects when the BPM is set according to the tempo of the song. A lot less tweaking and measuring is needed when you can sync reverb and delay as you mix. So this is really nice to have locked down. And if you like this video so far, hit the like button and consider subscribing to get more videos like this, and hit the bell button and everything. Now let's move on. Now the next problem in this mixing session is the routing. Let's just turn everything on for the sake of it. Okay, so we have a routing problem. Everything is routed into the stereo out. And the problem with that is that you don't have that much control over the individual tracks and the categories of tracks. You can route everything in the existing project. Select all tracks from a category and press the output button, then select bus and then select a vacant one. A cleaner and less tedious way to go is to use a pre-made template. Do this. Export the complete project. So let's do that just now. Select everything, turn everything off, turn the automation off, everything. And then File, export all tracks as audio files, desktop, new folder, call it video 80 BPM. Open a new project. Here I have my templates. I have the Subphotic clean template, which I like really much. And all of these templates, there are 6 of them, specifically tailor-made for mixing. You can download it at subphotic.com/logic, and you can get them for free. Let's see, import them here, right here. Okay, boom. And now here we have them. And what I can do now is to just cut away the silent part at the beginning, select, and like this. And what I do now is I will put the regions into the corresponding tracks. So here we have the beat, for example. This is stereo beat, main vocal, backing vocals, 7 of them. So you can just duplicate some of them. Now we have set it up, and we can select everything, right click and color, region by tracks. You can also go here, name and color regions by track. Boom. Now we have colored them, and everything is a lot neater. Get rid of the tracks right here, and we have everything set up to go. So this is a much more cleaner. We don't have any drums, so we can get rid of that. No instruments. Now we have the stereo beats and a Vox folder, and that's it. Of course, we still have 120 BPM. Now I can just do whatever, and it will be in sync. We have the beat, which is routed into bus 3, the beat bus. Now we have the verse, which is routed into bus 8, which is the lead Vox bus. And then we have the backing track, which is routed into bus 9, called the background vox or the backing vox. So we have 3 categories. Now if we go to the bus folders and we see here the lead vocals rooted into the vox bus, backing vox is also rooted into vox bus, and the beat bus is rooted into the mix bus. And the vox bus is also rooted into the mix bus. So everything is rooted correctly. You can just download this template and use it free of charge. So that's the routing. Now, the third problem is the processing. And the first thing I want to attack here is the limiter. I just want you to look at the limiter. So you see here the reduction goes down to 4.4. The input is 4.3. If I turn off the limiter, it should peak like hell. Yes, so as you can see here, the gain staging is a problem here, and this limiter is way overworking itself. The solution here is, of course, to turn everything down a bit, because you see here on the track level here, nothing is in the red. The vocals may be approaching the red, but it's still in the safe. And I think the main issue here is the beat. The beat is already at peak level. So what I would do here is just to drag the beat down some decibels. I would do 5 decibels down on the clip gain, and problem solved. And then you can adjust the vocals according to the beats, and then you would be in a better place. Now let's just take everything down by 5 dB or even 7. Let's just save it. 7 down on everything. Now let's see. Now this is a healthy level, peaking at minus 4.9-ish, and then you can start with the processing. And the processing here is some of these compressors are doing a lot, some are doing a little. And what I would do, the first thing is the stock compressor in Logic. I would turn off the auto gain, and I would be really mindful about what goes in and what goes out, and just make sure that it's approximately the same level that is going into the compressor that is going out of the compressor. You want the compressed signal to peak around the same as the incoming signal, so that you always have a healthy level. So this is a lot better. Now, I was playing back this without any audio because I agreed with him that I wouldn't display any audio here. This is just me showing you the meters and how they work. And now if I turn this like this, everything is off. Turn off the auto gain, especially if you don't have the intention of using the auto gain. Then there's a de-esser at the very end that does around -5 of gain reduction, and I think that this de-esser might be surplus if there were some subtractive EQing going on before the compressor stage, because that's needed. As I can hear as I listen, there should be some reduction in the 3K range. The main issue here was the gain staging, and then when it comes to the processing, the thinking here is really good with the compressors in series, so that no one compressor does all the lifting. So you can have another compressor here, and my suggestion here would be to change up the vibe a little bit. Just experiment with maybe the studio FET or the vintage FET, or maybe an opto. Okay, just to summarize, here are the action steps for this mixing session. So the first thing is turn off all plugins and export session as tracks and import into new session. That's what we've done right here with this one. So we've done this. We have exported everything into a new session using the Logic Pro template, downloadable at subphotic.com/logic. The next thing that should be done in this session is to sequence tracks and color code and set correct BPM, and that's what we've done here. Correct color codes, BPM is correct, and everything. Now the next thing is to set up buses and auxes. That's what we've done here. Lead vox into the lead vox bus, into the back vox bus, and we have the beat bus, and then finally the mix bus into the master bus right here. And then turn down the beat. Everything could be actually turned down by, say, 5 dB. It's a healthy level. Next up is to compress the vocals. So you see here, everything jumped up to minus 3.4 from 6. And that was because there are inconsistencies in the levels in the vocals. You can just see the audio region here. You see there are a lot of spikes here, and this is perfectly normal for a vocal track without compression going in. Here are some quiet parts, here are some loud parts, and all of this would be evened out with a compressor or 2 or 3. And also when the backing comes in, there are at least 5 backing tracks going on at the same time right here. Of course, there will be inconsistencies in dynamics. Everything will be panned and turn down the volume and such. And finally, of course, adjust the vocals to the beats. When everything is tucked in nicely with compression, just adjust the vocals to the beat. And I have some videos that are perfect for mixing like this. I would suggest you to try out one of these videos. Hope this was helpful, and I see you again in one of these videos. Peace out.